Have you ever stopped to think about what happens when your financial advisor starts using AI? I mean, who's really calling the shots with your money? Well, today, we're going to break down this huge intersection of finance and tech and really dig into the big questions about accountability.
Okay, let's just dive right into the heart of it, shall we? As these algorithms get more and more sophisticated and play a bigger role in financial decisions, you have to ask, who's on the hook? Is it the advisor, the company that made the software? It's a question we have to answer.
Because really, this isn't just a story about cool new tech, algorithms, and data. At its very core, this is all about the fundamentals: trust, responsibility, and, making sure your financial future is actually being protected. And this is where you start to see a really important shift happening. The best advisors out there, they're not trying to wow you with how much they know about AI. Not at all. They're focused on showing real leadership and making it crystal clear that a human expert is still the one steering the ship.
But what are the real risks when we start leaning on AI for financial advice? The answer might not be what you think. It's not some sci-fi story about a rogue AI making crazy trades. The danger is actually a lot more subtle than that.
The real risk is this idea right here: advice without ownership. Just think about that for a second. It's that murky, gray area where you get a recommendation, but nobody, not the person, not the program, is clearly responsible for it. That confusion, that is the danger zone for a client. And this is how it starts to show up in the real world. You get this kind of autopilot planning or advice that's so generic it doesn't really fit your life. And worst of all, it can create this false sense of certainty where everyone just trusts the output without asking questions. When no one's really accountable, that's when you're at risk.
So, let's boil it all down to this one crucial point. The main problem isn't that AI might give bad advice. The much bigger, scarier risk is getting advice where no one actually owns the outcome. That's what we need to solve for.
All right, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, it all comes back to remembering the incredible, irreplaceable value that a human advisor brings to the entire process.
And the answer is a concept called decision ownership. It's a pretty simple principle, really. It just means that a human advisor is always explicitly the one who's accountable for the results. No matter what tech they use to get there, the buck stops with them. Period.
This chart just lays it out so perfectly. Over on the left, you've got what we can call client alpha. This is the stuff that actually provides real value. Things like taking ownership, being totally transparent, setting clear boundaries. Now look at the right side, intellectual alpha. That's all about just sounding smart, making predictions about AI, talking in tech jargon. It's pretty clear where the real value is, right?
Okay, so that's the principle. But how do you put it into practice? Let's walk through a really practical framework that advisors can use to prove they're committed to accountability and build that rock-solid trust with their clients.
This 5-step plan is basically a roadmap for advisors to have this conversation. It's all about building that trust and showing clients, hey, I'm in your corner. It's a fantastic communication tool that can make the whole relationship so much stronger.
And this right here, this is the game-changing opening line from that framework. By starting the conversation this way, an advisor immediately takes charge. They're making it clear that this isn't about some fancy new tool. It's about protecting the client. And this little diagram just nails the point. Technology is amazing at the first two steps, gathering data and analyzing it, but that middle piece, judgment, that's where humans are irreplaceable. Technology is terrible at responsibility, at understanding context, at making trade-offs. That's where a great advisor makes all the difference.
Now, this whole way of thinking isn't just for one-on-one meetings. It actually changes how professionals should be talking about this stuff with everyone, in public, in their marketing, everywhere.
It all comes down to what you could call the anti-know-it-all rule. Instead of trying to sound like a fortune teller and making these huge predictions about what AI is going to do, the focus should be on right here, right now. Here's our process, here's what I'm on the hook for, and here's how we keep you safe.
So, everything you put out there, every newsletter, every blog post, should be reinforcing these core ideas. It's all about being transparent, being accountable, and just constantly showing that you are completely committed to your client's financial well-being.
So how do you tie all of this together? How can an advisor make a commitment that is so clear, so permanent, that it leaves absolutely no doubt in a client's mind about who is in charge?
It really boils down to this one simple, powerful truth. You have to reassure your client
that while the tools you use might change over time, and they will, the fundamental agreement of trust and responsibility between you two, that is set in stone.
And there it is. This is the sentence that says it all. It's a clear, powerful promise of accountability. It's the kind of statement that builds trust, maintains it, and really solidifies that critical advisor-client relationship for the long haul.
So as we wrap this up, that's the big question we're left with. In a world that is automating faster every single day, the idea of human responsibility is more important than ever, and it's something we all have to think about, not just in our finances, but in pretty much every part of our lives.